French university system is undergoing a period of turmoil because it's being subjected to a whole barrage of different reforms, all of which are coming at the same time, sort of falling over each other in their desire to be implemented first, many of which take a kind of mystified version of American and British university systems as a kind of iconic model, a model which is often slightly poorly understood, but attempting to introduce notions such as competitive, what's the stress on that? Competition, competitiveness, I think that's what I'm looking for. Competition, economic performance, constant monitoring, and voluminous production of research as the yardsticks by which university success should be measured. The French system, the members of the French system, are rejecting this for a whole variety of reasons, one of which, and I think is the strongest and most important, is simply that those are not the values and principles on which the French society, never mind French university system, is based, and that any society on which reforms of such a fundamental nature are imposed reacts to those reforms. Reacts in different ways. France has a certain tradition of a certain kind of reaction to social issues, which take forms that you perhaps don't see in the United Kingdom. So there's that. There's the question that the very sort of fundamental principles on which the French system is based are, some would say, under attack, or at least being called into question. There are, I mean, you could go into details of the various different reforms, but I think fundamentally that's what it is. The introduction of first of all, the introduction of the private sector, and more particularly the introduction of private sector thinking, private sector objectives into the system. And it's on top of that perhaps would work if we didn't have a government, and more particularly a president, who was so openly dismissive of everything I've just said. Values, fundamental principles and so on don't work. We have a very, very Blairist approach, which is, I'm not ideological, I only want what works, right? Which of course is an ideology in itself. And so we have a kind of dismissive feeling that we have that we serve no or very little purpose, which is something that of course makes us react. Which is very strange in a country like France, which reveres its philosophers, which reveres its thinkers. You're a country, I can say you because it's not me, but you're a country that has a very strong attachment to intellectuals. And yet at the same time, we have this dismissal of that same thing, and it's created a division in society which wasn't there 2 years ago, but there was an election 2 years ago, and divisions in society have been popping up everywhere, and there's another one. And so fundamentally that's what it's all about. Technically, they concern the European Union because all of the European Union universities are nominally embarked on a process, the Bologna process, and we're all supposedly in the same boat together, just as so many other elements of European life. There is this idea that if it works, then you should break it, and anyway, even if it works. We see that with the privatisation, sorry, I'm digressing a little bit, the privatisation of La Poste in France. It's something, La Poste works, but it needs to be privatised anyway, even though it works. right? Because that's what you should do, because that's what people do. People privatise, because privatisation is a good thing, and nationalisation is a bad thing. And so we find the same thing with the university system, the whole Bologna process, in which we're all sort of on this seemingly unstoppable moving carpet, taking us towards what a bunch of people, many of whom I suspect are not university involved people, believe should be the objective for university education. The only way that we can, because there's not enough money and governments can't give enough money, we need to seek money here or there, and we need to harmonise everything, and things need to form one nice unit. And we just, for some reason in Europe these days, we can't accept that people have slightly different ways of functioning. France is further back on this carpet from other countries. Other countries are a long way ahead and are much further advanced in this process. And I think the further back France can stay on this carpet, the better, because we can see what's happening in the other countries, and we see what the British university system is like. There are some fantastic universities in Britain. I was lucky enough to go to one of them. There are some god-awful, there are some places in the UK which do not deserve the name university. We're going that way. We're going that way. But if we could find the button to stop it, we'd do it.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you very much.